Bearded Mojo. Yeah. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Lone Survivor episode 5. We're 5 episodes in. This is exciting. I appreciate all of the support you guys have given towards these videos. It blows my mind the fact that you guys are enjoying this and the reception as well. So thank you very much. Keep the comments coming. I appreciate it. You guys given me a ton of constructive feedback, and I'm going to try to implement that into our videos. But on with the show. So today we've got a lot planned, and it's a lot of stuff different than what I originally intended to get done. First off, you might have noticed we are using third-person cam. Now, this is not something I plan to use in-game. This is only for narrative shots and things like intros and outros and what have you. It makes my life a ton easier, and it doesn't affect the gameplay. So I am going to use this for specific things like this. For clarity. I don't want you guys thinking, what the hell's this guy doing? Hey, what's this guy's lying to us? But yeah, so we're gonna use third person for narrative shots, kind of like this. But we do have Bearded Mojo. Now, unfortunately, his name is Bearded Mojo. We got a great comment last time. I think it was last video. That we should have named him Shaven Mojo. So this Mojo is still technically Bearded Mojo. But he will be Shaven Mojo, aka, or I should say, aka Shaven Mojo for the time being. Thanks, buddy. So we are going to start calling him that, but let's get back to business. So we've got a ton of different things we want to do to our base, and not in the particular order that I originally had planned. I've got a lot of things to kind of cover, so let's just get into it. I am going to be doing, I've always traditionally, and I don't know about you guys, but I have traditionally built in creative with the, with the intent of going into creative constructive mode. So it's kind of like survival mode, but with creative tools, so you can test the ship out. So I build it in creative, I test it in survival with creative, and then I print it out in survival. Play with it that way. I feel like I get a ton more value out of my time, as well as a lot of creativity kind of comes out. So I am going to start doing that, and I'm going to bring you on the journey with me as we do that through time lapses with Shaven Mojo. But I have to make some prerequisites to kind of fit the RP that we're considering in these episodes. So the first thing we want to do is we are required to build a, what do we want to call it? A blueprinting room, I think is how we, a drafting room. Yeah. Drafting room. So build a drafting room. You know what? It's easier to do that without the space. So let's leave the space. I'm lazy. Keep pressing shift. So we will build a drafting room, and we need to build a simulation room. So the way I plan on doing this is I'm going to actually come back out here. We're going to come inside the drone bay, and I'm going to start cutting out more of this wall. And I would like in the back of this to be our drafting room and simulation room. We'll kind of connect the two together. We'll make it 2 separate rooms, but I want to be able to design the ship in creative. So we'll be required to go into the drafting room to do that. I will time-lapse all of our builds in creative so you can kind of see the process of what I do. And I will also go into the simulation room to test out, and I'll bring you along for that journey as well. I've had a great suggestion to do a little less editing, so I have to be selective in what I choose to do throughout these videos. It requires a little bit more forethought in what I do, and I don't want these videos to be insanely long and filled with a lot of filler, so I'm still going to do what I do in a way that doesn't cut too much content out. So hopefully that satisfies everybody. But yeah, so we're going to start work on that. And then once the drafting room is done and we use that to design it, we will move into the simulation room. And I want to kind of design something kind of like a hollow deck like they used to have on Star Trek. Yeah, and then we'll move into that. We'll test it out, and then we'll bring it out here, and then we'll print it out, and we'll play around with it and have fun. So that is the idea. I hope you like it. And if you got any other suggestions, let me know in the comments. But let's get right to it. Let's start building. And it is done. We've got the blueprint room. We've got the simulation room. I added a little, what are these tchotchkes, or whatever the hell these are called. We got some shelving. We got some access. We added some sensors, some signage. So we come on through here. We've got our blueprint table, and what we'll do is we will, once we start working on this, we'll go into our creative world, and we'll use this to create our ships. Then I will set them as display so they kind of show on here, and we will enter into the simulation room. I added some decoration to this room. I think it came out pretty nice and kind of chill. It's a good workshop to work in. And then we've got the simulation room itself. So once we enter this room, you know what? I'm now that I'm in here and I'm thinking about it, I might want to enter like a computer panel, so that when we enter that computer panel, we will go into the simulated world and kind of test out our ships that we built in creative, make sure that they are feeling good, and then once we're all done with that, we will print them out. Once I get a printer going, I think while we're in this small base, I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to get a just a projector, and we'll weld it by hand, our first ship. Now, to keep in spirit of the playthrough, because this is such a small blueprint room, I think I can only make, I'll set myself up so that I can only make and test small grid blueprints in here. I think that's probably the best way to do it. We'll do small grid in here, and then once we go larger, once we get this to, like, let's say a 5x5 when we build our actual base, we'll do this as a 5x5, and then we will do this. I mean, this is like a 3x4 right now, but I guess we'll require this to be a 5x5 as well, and that'll allow us to do the large grid. So for now, we'll limit ourselves to the small grid, and I think it came out pretty nice. I like it for the most part. I think it looks pretty neat. It's homey, it's cozy, and I threw some of that like small thin plating on top of this, so we can kind of make sure both sides have their own unique feel, and this isn't out of whack out of this thing. But overall, yeah, I think I'm satisfied with this. So now I'm wondering what the next process should be. I'm wondering if I should work on getting. No, you know what I'll do? We'll do the projection after we build the ship. And what I'd like to do is, I think what I want to do is I'd like to get some sort of atmospheric scout ship for us, because we're going to need to do a lot of exploring on this planet. I was going to do a survival rover, but I think we can hold off on that on another planet once we get like a real rover friendly planet. I'll do that there. I have a design in mind that I want to make, so I will hold off on that. But this, I think, we definitely need a scout ship. We'll do, since we can't do a cockpit, we'll make a custom station for us to kind of sit in and work with it. And it will be lightweight. And I'm not going to pack it. It's not going to be an all-purpose. It's not going to be a hauler. I may add some storage, because once we do find the outposts, we're going to need to start doing missions. Because one of the what the hell is it called? One of the objectives to unlock hydrogen thrusters, so we can actually start to make it into space and unlock a lot more stuff, I believe, is to buy a ship from an outpost. So even if we do find an outpost, we're going to have to, right up there, up top here. Yeah, right over here. Hydrogen thrusters, ship purchase. So even though we find our first outpost, if we are unlucky and it does not sell ships, we're going to have to keep exploring. So that's why I figured I'd not want to tear my hair out and do a rover on this planet, on the Earth-like. I think it would be much more fun to do a scout ship. And I've got a design in mind, so let's use our blueprint machine for the first time. And we're done. The ship is fully painted, fully completed, fully geared up, all hotkeys set up, everything labeled properly. I did that off camera because that'd be pointless to show. So I hope you don't mind. Cut that out. But yeah, let's give you the tour. So to enter the ship, we will be working in our lone survival world. So we will be able to get on and off the ship without use of any sort of ladders or thrust packs or anything like that. Just a quick hop on. It's all automated. Doors open and close with the press of a button. Ramp comes up, as you can kind of see through here. We've got minor storage, plenty of maneuverability. We've got 2 batteries in here and then 1 on each wing. We've got some timer blocks and automation. On-off switch for our survival kit. We've got a classic radar, beacon, ore detector set up, and then we've got our cryo chamber in case for some reason we die. We can clone ourselves right in the ship, which is nice. Nice view. I tried to make a very open cockpit so that we can kind of see what's going on all around us when it's needed. And then I set up a ton of cameras, front, back, left, right, and bottom cam, which is kind of useless right now. We've also got docking procedures set up on this thing, and I will give you the blueprint room third-person view just because we can. And this is the simple setup. It's slightly different than I imagined, but it's pretty much the idea I wanted. I kind of want to extend the back a little bit more, but I didn't want to go insanely resource heavy. I didn't want to build this for forever. So yeah, I named this the LS1 or the Lone Survivor 1. If we come up with some neat naming schemes, if you got any good ideas, let me know in the comments. I'm willing to take them, so we can kind of name our ships and what have you. But now that it's all done, now that the tour, the penny tour has been given, let's test this bad boy out. So let's jump out of this world, and I will meet you back in the Lone Survivor world. Out of the blueprint world, back to the real world. Blueprint totally loaded up, ready to go. Not sure if I love the color scheme on this thing, but we'll run with it for now, unless we come up with something completely different. Time to go into the simulation world to test this bad boy out. Computer, load simulation. Oh jeez. I don't think I'll ever get used to that. Alright, now we're in the simulation world and we fully test out the ship. So let's get on in there. I'm going to restrict myself from using the jetpack and whatnot just to make sure it functions and features like we would in the real world. So let's disconnect. Let's take it for a spin. Feels good. You know what I should do? You know what? Let's take it for a spin. Yeah, I'm thinking in my head. I'm wondering if I should load it up with cargo, but let's take it for a spin first, see how it rolls, and then we will load it up with cargo and see how it goes. It's only a medium connector. I don't think it's going to be an issue at all. Alright, front cam functioning nice. Solid back cam. Left cam working. Right cam functional. Lander cam action. Fucking good, maybe? And then we can turn on cruise control. Cruise control appears to be working perfect. Turn it off. Working good. Give a free fall for a bit and then turn on the engines. That seems to be working fine. A little speed. Bounce and roll. Take a quick turn. Yeah, I feel like it's functioning pretty damn fine. It's smooth for a chonky boy, I guess. Alright, let's give the landing cam a try, and then let's make sure we don't crack our engines when we try to land. They line up pretty much close to the mag plate, so actually, you know what? Let's do this. There's a couple of function features we'll show you. I did add a remote to it, so we should be able to link in. Oh, that's right. The antenna's off. That would be really bad if if we did this in the real world, but luckily we didn't. And of course, the first thing I say is, "Hey, I'm not going to use all my functions and features like I would in the real world." But yeah, let's turn on all of this stuff. That I'm going to chalk that up to a blueprint pasting error. All right, now we won't use our stuff. So let's flip up the jetpack. Let's drop down. Now let's remote in. Make sure that's working. Pretty sure I turned that on. Wow, this is going fantastic. Well, and this is why we're in the test world, right? I'm back. I did absolutely nothing, and now it's working. I don't know what just happened. That's okay. You know what? I should probably I'll set up the hotkeys for this one when we're actually in the world. I guess I can do that off camera. I guess you guys don't need to do that. It lands just fine.
Fuel critical.
Buttons work as expected. Doesn't look like the engines are in any way, shape, or form close to getting whacked. These mag plates are nice. They hold us up just a little bit higher than everything else, so it's perfect. Alright, let us load this up. Let's just pick an ore. Slap about 1,000, 100,000 in there. Alright, so that's full. And on a full belly, this guy still rock and rolls. Oh, that's perfect. Full load, pushing all engines to the max. I don't think the battery's full, but we're close. So I guess we've got roughly about a half hour flying safely, I would think. I mean, I guess we can turn off certain things that we're not using. And then as we're flying too, as long as we turn on the cruise control, we're gonna save a ton of battery. So we can do a lot of cruising. I'm gonna say about a half hour safe trip time in the air. And I don't think that's bad at all. We can cover a lot of ground. Search for a lot of stuff. We don't want to go too high. This ship is not airtight. We don't have the helmet in our Lone Survivor actual world, so that's definitely something to consider. Let's head back to our little landing pad. We'll lock up, and we will head back to the real world. I think this is definitely a successful test. I'm happy with this. Again, not exactly what I envisioned, but it still looks cool enough. I'm satisfied with it. It's got everything we need. I was gonna put some parachutes in here, but I'm on kind of a time crunch, so I was like, you know what, I can't fit any in a spot where I can easily access them, and I don't think I'll need them. I'm gonna regret saying that probably. Now let's test out our docking cam. I believe this is to the right of the docking port. I think that's where I put it. Go look.
Fuel critical.
That's to the right of it. Okay. I just guess I wasn't close enough.
Fuel.
I want to get in. I want to see how it is. Whoops. Whoops. Wrong button. I didn't do that. Okay. It's we've got to kind of aim it when we. Whoops. There's a lot of whoops right now. I'm making many mistakes. It looks like I can approach it like I usually do. It's just with the crosshairs on one of the lights. It should be pretty good. I mean, it looks like that's how we locked in just then. Yeah, that's perfect. So you know what? Let's run our docking procedures. That's perfect. Love it. I might pull. I have the mag locks. Well, no, I'll leave them on there because when we undock, they're gonna unlock automatically. So that's fine too. Yeah, I'm definitely satisfied with this. So let's go out into the real world. Let us put this in a projector. Let's print this bad boy out. And let's actually use it and do some exploring. See you back in the real world. Whoa! Alright, we are back. Everything looks good. You've done good, kid. We're proud of you. Alright, so let's find a good spot for this. And let's start working on this too. Actually, you know what? I gotta get this video out, so I'm gonna actually end it here, and I'm sorry about that. Come check us out on Twitch, Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8:30 to midnight Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, hit the bell, do all that good stuff. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you very much for the love and support you guys have shown. And we'll see you in the next episode. Peace!